Hello everyone, I am King Mac, and I'd like to thank you all for watching this feature presentation on YouTube. Be sure to enjoy a hot fresh cheeseburger, along with some french fries and a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Thank you all for watching, and here is our feature presentation of TTBurger Remastered game reviews on YouTube.
Yeah. Since day one, I've been getting it. I'm spitting gibberish.
Hello, my friends! How are you all doing today? You ready for some more TTBurger game reviews, eh? Ready for some more TTBurger Remastered game reviews? Actually, wait, we're in the right place. We're continuing with my Soul series remastered review of Soul Blade and SoulCalibur and stuff, and we're on episode 9 here, part 4 of 5 parts. And we're continuing with the SoulCalibur franchise. We step into the PlayStation 3 era. The game that announced it was gonna have Star Wars characters in it, and like Darth Vader, Yoda, and StarKiller the Apprentice from Force Unleashed and everything. And we have a lot to talk about here, so we'll have to get started. But before we get started here, I want to give a shout out to Freakin' HD, Sub-Zero, MNX for King Mac, along with Delta Hyperlamia, Brick Ghost Ghost Stateside, Griffin Pup, Black Healer, Megs, along with the homie RJ, the Sensational Gen, Red Hood Assassin, Ogojira, Rockstar Pool 69, and more and more and more. And I hope you're all enjoying the holiday season, because Christmas is coming up as this recording in 10 days. Before we can get started here with the next SoulCalibur Remastered here with the PlayStation 3 era, those of you missed what happened in episode 9 of my SoulCalibur series Remastered review part 3 of 5. Here is a TTBurger recap for you all right now. I'll show you what you missed. I took a look at SoulCalibur 3 for the PlayStation 2 and gave it a 9 out of 10 because it was a fantastic game, improved sequel, and had a lot of characters and a lot of fun modes to play. But there was some disappointing elements in it, like the English voice acting, the Chronicles of the Sword mode, which was probably the worst mode of the bunch, and the enemy AI had some balance issues and stuff like that. But it was still a fun game overall, and definitely which it might have been the second best game in the SoulCalibur franchise. But for this episode, we're gonna zoom ahead to the year 2008, back when I was starting to become a sophomore in college, and this game was announced, and it was by the time I got a PlayStation 3, like I got my PlayStation 3 in December of 2007, and the game on the list here is this one, SoulCalibur IV for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, released on July 29th, 2008. Sadly, SoulCalibur IV was disappointing, and that's surprising because SoulCalibur 3 was a fantastic game and an improved sequel, and you'd think that they would improve on that game. But unfortunately, that was not the case here at all. Sure, SoulCalibur 4 has great graphics and such, and it's nice to see Star Wars characters and everything, but it falls flat due to a short, disappointing story, lack of modes, disappointing gameplay, and makes the game mediocre or average at best. When SoulCalibur 4 was announced, they said that there would be Star Wars characters as guest characters like Yoda, Darth Vader, and StarKiller the Apprentice. Darth Vader for the PlayStation 3, Yoda for the Xbox 360, and StarKiller would be in both, and they would serve as guest characters. And for me, while I do love Star Wars, it's one of my favorite franchises of all time with the games and the movies and stuff, to me, I just feel like that the Star Wars characters in SoulCalibur 4 just do not mesh well at all. Sure, you had the guest characters in SoulCalibur 2, which was with Heihachi and Link and Spawn, but they fit well here. Here, it's just here to have Star Wars in it, and it just doesn't really work all that well. But while we'll talk about the layers, we gotta keep on track here. The story, this is where things get disappointing because of how short it is. It makes you not care about the story, what happens at all. The story is about this king named Algo, who awakens after being asleep 1,000 years because of Soul Edge, and you must go and defeat him so he can go back to himself and destroy Soul Edge, SoulCalibur, depending on which ending he gets like that and such. And the final boss varies instead of depending on who you play as. Like you play as Hildegard, you'll play as you'll fight Nightmare, and other characters you'll fight Algo and stuff and everything. And that's basically it. SoulCalibur 4 barely has any story to it. Just defeat Algo or Nightmare or Siegfried and stuff like that, and then you get any of the characters and standing over and over again. Now I know a lot of fighting games are like this, and they do this here, but the story is short. Only 5 stages, no branching paths, and hidden characters to fight or anything like that. With SoulCalibur 3, we had to pick choice selection in the past to choose to get the Night Terror and stuff, and it was big on story. But here, no, it's so short and disappointing. It's like they didn't even try at all. The characters did not really have any development to them either. Like, some of them barely even talk at all. And sure, the endings look really good in the graphics department, but the graphics did not make up a good game or story. SoulCalibur 4 has all or most of the characters in previous installments, along with some new ones, such as Amy Sorrell, who was the wife of Raphael Sorrell, who was a bonus character in SoulCalibur 3, and is now a fully lived character with a story and everything like that, and her movie similar to Raphael. Along with Hildegard von Kron, a female knight from Germany who knows of Siegfried and Nightmare and stuff. All her moves are not similar to Siegfried and Nightmare, personality-wise she's similar to Siegfried. And then you have the Star Wars characters, Darth Vader, Yoda, StarKiller. And at first, when this game was released, you could not pick Yoda against Darth Vader, but they were added to buy from like PlayStation Network Store and Xbox Live Marketplace, and I played all three of those in any version. And yeah, let's continue here. But like I said before, the Star Wars characters in the game do not go well, and I did not care for them. Me being a big Star Wars fan, it's an interesting idea on paper, but I did not like it, and just came off kind of disappointing. Regular characters are like fan favorites like Sophia, Cassandra, Mitsuruki, Siegfried, Taki, Setsuga, and Shangguan, Talamar here and stuff like that in. It's nice to see them for sure. For the presentation aspect of SoulCalibur 4, the graphics actually look quite good and look really good to this day. The character models look extremely detailed and better than they did in the last game. I know it's surprising because we're on next-gen hardware, but if there's one claim I'm going to complain about the characters, it's the outfits for them. The outfits look ridiculous and hideous at the same time. They do not fit some of the characters there. Like look at Young Sung. Look at his outfit. Look at Shangguan, Talaman, look at Setsu's okay, but look at Voldo and stuff and everything like that, and look at Rock and stuff. Like the character outfits are kind of hideous there. The ending scenes of the characters in the opening cutscene look fantastic, although be warned, let's see only things like the Japanese this time. The backgrounds are generic beyond belief and look boring. And once again, characters share the same stages and do not look very good. Sure, you have the Star Wars stages with the Star Wars music and stuff, which do look cool, but not to harp on it. Star Wars does not fit well with SoulCalibur, is what I'm trying to say here. I know I said it so many times, but yeah, I'm just saying there. And also, the endings don't really have any quick time events to music. You're just watching the ending, just watch play, and then you just see a text, and that's it. Okay, let's continue. The sound in SoulCalibur 4 is not very good. The voice setting, surprising for both the Japanese and the English, not very good. The Japanese audio is a little better than the English, but it sounds like they really tried their best. But they got new voice actors for a lot of the characters, and the voices either sound too deep or too stiff sounding, mainly Ivy, Cassandra, and Tira, and Setsuga, and Sophia. The English audio takes the bad voice acting to a whole nother level. The actors sound way too bored, or stiff, or over the top, or just flat out don't want to be there. Even the voice actors for the Star Wars characters who've been in other Star Wars games don't want to be here. I mean, the funny thing is, the Japanese voice actors for the Star Wars characters sound better than they did the English acting. That surprised me there. And lip syncing only matches up in the Japanese and the endings for some odd reason. And also the announcer sounds the way he records his lines, just flat out not having the time. Especially like when you back in the past they'd say this fitting straight in the soul of Sophia or something like that. But here it just says victory belongs to the last one standing. The battle is finished. Only those who win can proceed forward or something like that. It's like they didn't even try. It's like, yeah. And just Japanese audio is better, but not by much. I'd recommend the Japanese audio over the English, but still, they're both not very good. The music sounds mediocre, average at best, not very memorable. It sounds like music in some generic samurai movie. The only good audio track is the theme for Cassandra and Sophia's stage. And of course the Star Wars music sounds awesome, but it's Star Wars, what do you expect? The weapon sound effects are decent and stuff. By the time they were kind of reusing the sound from other SoulCalibur games, it was kind of getting a little stale. The gameplay of SoulCalibur 4 is disappointing and lacking to say the least. Sure, the fighting mechanics work somewhat well, and it feels like SoulCalibur. Just the way it's executed is the problem. A lot of the characters have changed so much, and they feel weighted and stiff sometimes. They can be overpowered, taking challenge out of the game. Like your character needs to be challenged at that and stuff, and and they can just crush the opponent in the eye and stuff, but no problem. You cannot pull off certain moves with those characters anymore, even the ones that were in SoulCalibur 3. There are no bonus characters for the most part, except for those sub-bosses in story mode, but that is it. And only like about 5 of them or so, maybe 4 or 5, I kind of lost track count. There are not that many modes compared to how many modes there were in SoulCalibur 3 we had. We just did not have much this time. Just story, which I already talked about. Tower of Soul, which is probably the best mode of the game, so it's basically challenging its units. It's good for both newcomers and long-time fans that's challenged with and stuff. and you're gonna unlock some cool ass shit in it for sure. And I'll admit it's better than the Chronicles of the Sword mode in SoulCalibur 3, that awful strategy mode which makes you wanna pull your hair out and scream. The arcade mode is simple, but you fight the same opponents each time, like just not really much of a difference there. Like I'd never fought against Darth Vader or Yoda, and I very rarely fought against Raphael or Voldo or Rock or anything like that stuff. I didn't verse Rock at all, and very rarely. I only fought like Raphael like one time, Yoshimitsu one time. Stuff just changes so much stuff. It's like fighting the same opponents over and over again. It can get very monotonous very quickly. And there's a balance issue. With half the AI time, they'll be like easy as burger pie, and other times they'll be hard to hit as a burnt to the crisp burger. It's very frustrating. There's no middle ground here. It's like on a seesaw going up and down, up and down, up and down. I can't decide where it wants to land. Like they'll take all your health away within minutes and stuff, and due to lack of story, the sub bosses, like the middle bosses, they have no concept or anything like that. Just fight them and that's it. Even the museum mode is lacking as well. There's no weapon exhibits or exhibition theater or profiles that you can click around and mess around with and stuff, to hear the voices and everything. Here we just have concept art, relationship timelines, clips to look like the endings and stuff, and blind descriptions and more. Like what happened here? SoulCalibur 3 had a ton of content to keep you busy. Even SoulCalibur 2 had a ton of content in here in this museum mode. We have pretty much nothing for the most part. We do not even have any extra modes to use weapons. And to unlock weapons this time is way too easy. Just beat the story mode with that character and boom, you have all weapons unlocked. You're gonna have to use them unless you use creative character, which actually has improved a lot. And that's one thing that they got right, is the creative character. It's more in depth and more options to mess around with, and it is much better than SoulCalibur 3's creative character. And that's one thing they got right. Plus, you can use the main characters and and dress them up in different costumes and change the weapons and stuff. And you can only use the second costume customized and stuff like that. For some reason, you can't use the one-player costume, which is weird, but if you ask me. But you can add armor and health odds to make them stronger. The Towers of Soul mode and like arcade mode and stuff like that. But they're not as many weapons this time, for some odd reason. The online play is the first game in the Soul series to have online play, but I do not play online. The servers I'm sure have shut down by now. Now I know I've been bitching and moaning about this game non-stop, left and right and everything like that, but it does have some good stuff. Like I mentioned, the graphics and character models and a lot of creative character options, and the Tower of Souls works really well, and like it's nice to see these characters again. But the problem is everything just felt rushed out the door, and it's surprising because SoulCalibur 3 was an excellent game. You'd hope they would improve on it, but they do not. And also, Algo was a lame final boss character. Not as cool as Cervantes or Soul Edge or Inferno or Abyss, or even Night Terror. He was badass. But we get Algo, who just, I'll destroy anyone who stands in my way. Just an old man was up by Soul Edge and just doesn't have any character and just straight up stands in his way and stuff. How original and exciting, right? Not the worst fighting game, not the worst SoulCalibur game. It's better than SoulCalibur Legends, I'll say that much, but not the best either. The other games were better. Especially SoulCalibur 3, and Soul Blade as well. It is pretty much mediocre, average at best. I still would recommend it if you want some SoulCalibur action, but the other games before this were better. The final thoughts, SoulCalibur 4 was a disappointment for me, and it'll probably be a disappointment to other people like SoulCalibur 3 and SoulCalibur 2 and stuff like that, and the other 2 games before that, just not very good in the long run there. I give SoulCalibur 4 a 6.5 out of 10 because of the problems I have with it. It's a game that you might want to rent it. You might just want to borrow it from a friend and then beat it and take it back and stuff, and that's pretty much it. It's not worth it, especially when you compare it to SoulCalibur 3. But if you happen to have to try it, there's still some fun to be had here. Just be warned, wasn't as good as the other games. And that's it for episode 9 of my SoulCalibur Remastered series review, part 4 of 5. Stay tuned for the grand finale, and we're taking a look at SoulCalibur 5 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 once again. This time we have Ezio from Assassin's Creed and Devil Jin from Tekken and more. How does this game fare? Well, you have to find out next, which all I gotta say there, and just we'll see what happens in the end. Which all I gotta say is Tony, peace now, have everything. See you on my review of SoulCalibur 5. Take care, everybody.
Just like a cipher, you can call me MacGyver, cause I'm winning, spitting fire, making hits. I ain't tired, and this life got me inspired, man, this caffeine got me